You are not your mind. For centuries, we were taught to think. Think more. Think better. Think faster. School trained us to answer. Society rewards us for being rational. But what if the mind is a trap? What if the obsession with thinking is killing our intelligence? Breathe. Feel this moment. Notice that right now, as you listen to this, you're thinking about thinking, and that alone might be the problem. The truth is brutal. Overthinking makes us less aware. Overthinking traps us in the maze of our own head. According to Harvard research, the human mind spends almost 47% of the time distracted, not in the present, but wandering. It's called the default mode network, a neural system activated when we're not focused on anything. It feels like rest, but in truth, it's rumination, repetition, illusion. We think about things that no longer exist, or haven't even happened yet. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "Thinking is the repetition of memory, and memory is always from the past," which means, while we think, we live more in the past than in the now. True intelligence isn't about recalling what already happened. It's about perceiving what's happening now. A Zen monk can go days without thinking, not because he's stupid, but because he understands that too much thought kills clarity. Instead of forcing answers, he creates space, mental space, silence, observation, and in that space, something arises that can't be forced. Wisdom, science, is starting to agree. Neuroscientific studies show that those aha moments, the genius insights, don't come from logic. They emerge in alpha states, when the brain is relaxed, receptive, as if stopping thought opens the door to something deeper. Have you felt this? Trying to remember a name, pushing, straining, and nothing. Then, hours later in the shower, boom, it appears effortlessly. Why? Because the conscious mind stepped aside, and what was hidden finally emerged. This changes everything. It means that maybe our greatest power isn't controlling the mind, but knowing when it should be quiet. The human mind is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it must be used wisely. A hammer can build a home or destroy one. Thought works the same way. Thinking can create brilliant solutions, but it can also build invisible prisons. You've probably heard of analysis paralysis. It's when someone overthinks so much, analyzes every detail, weighs every option, and that they never act. They stay stuck in mental loops, like a sailor studying maps forever, but never setting sail. Overthinking kills action. It kills intuition. It kills presence. Albert Einstein said something revealing. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. We read that quote and nod, but we still live trapped in reason. Why? Because trusting the unthinking mind takes courage. It takes surrender. It takes silence, and silence is terrifying for those afraid to hear themselves. The truth is, clarity doesn't come from more information, but from less noise. That's why insights come in the shower, in traffic, on walks, late at night. They come when you let go, when you stop trying to force it. In a study by the University of Amsterdam, people who made quick decisions based on intuition performed better than those who thought for a long time. It's not magic. It's neuroscience. When you stop using the brain in a forced way, other, deeper parts take over. Your body thinks. Your experience speaks. Your implicit wisdom awakens. But that only happens when the rational mind quiets down. The problem is, today the world encourages the opposite. Notifications, alerts, ads, endless feeds. Everything is designed to keep you thinking, reacting, comparing, evaluating. Thinking has become an addiction, and like any addiction, the more you consume, the less you notice what you're losing. You lose your intuition. You lose your calm. You lose your ability to see the obvious. Yes, thought can save us, but knowing when to stop thinking can free us. The wise aren't those who think the most, but those who listen best to what speaks in the silence. In Taoist philosophy, there's a concept called Wu Wei, acting without force, allowing things to flow naturally. It's not passivity, it's presence. It's the intelligence that comes from alignment, not resistance. And maybe that's what we need most now. We live between two noises, the external noise of the world and the internal noise of the mind. But between those two, there's a third space, the space of perception. There, the mind is not a judge, but a window. There, you don't chase answers. You allow them to reveal themselves, and in that space, the brain stops being the center, and consciousness takes the throne. Have you ever felt that? Moments when everything just makes sense, even if you can't explain why? That's when real intelligence emerges, the kind that doesn't come from effort, but from integration. The good news is, this state is not far away. It already exists within you. It always has. But to reach it, you must quiet down, observe, trust. You don't need to think more. You need to think better, and sometimes that means not thinking at all. Because the mind is a great servant, but a terrible master. And when you stop using your brain as a weapon, it reveals itself as a portal to something greater than thought, the living awareness that sees everything, even thought itself. If this video stirred something in you, imagine what the next ones might reveal. Here, we don't hand out ready-made answers, we dig deeper. Subscribe and keep thinking less to understand more.